We are so excited that each year we have our annual conference in Baton Rouge, and we have anywhere from 600 to 1,000 social workers and other mental health professionals who attend. So we schedule our award ceremony to honor social workers and other individuals throughout the state that we think have done remarkable work. And we like to have this special awards luncheon on the first day of our conference, which is today. We are a professional association of social workers, and social workers can join when they are in a bachelor's level program, master's, a doctoral program, or even after they're out practicing. NASW does a wonderful job both at the state and the national level of representing the interests of social workers as well as the clients and populations that we all serve. I get to introduce the Social Worker of the Year, and I can tell you I can't be more pleased to be the person who's going to do this. Many of you know that the Social Worker of the Year award honors an NASW member who exemplifies the best of the profession's values and achievements through specific accomplishments. We honor Carmen Wiesner this year, our former executive director. Before we call Carmen up here and give her award officially, I'd like to tell you a little bit about her. I know that we all feel as if we know her, and we do, because she's a very outgoing person, and she's achieved a lot in Louisiana and throughout the nation, actually, in her career. So I wanted to just highlight a few of her accomplishments. First of all, let me just tell you that she got her MSW from LSU in 1974. So she may be one of those mature adults that Dr. D was referring to, but she has such a youthful appearance, so I can't really tell by looking at her. All right, she has worked in a variety of social work settings. She began as an eligibility worker in a parish welfare office, and that was a couple years before she earned her MSW. But once she earned her MSW, she became a child protection caseworker providing investigatory and treatment services. Thereafter, she became the lead planner for the development of policy and procedures for the Louisiana Medicaid program, and then served as the Medicaid Management Information Systems Claim Processing Manager. What a title that is. Can you see Carmen saying, well, yeah, but just call me whatever. Later, Carmen was on loan as a federal Medicaid quality control lead representative assigned to the state of Arkansas, providing management and supervision services. So you can see, people outside of Louisiana are aware of how skilled and capable she is. Carmen then managed an annual budget of over $67 million as the physician program manager for the Louisiana Medicaid program, assuring program compliance under Title 19 regulations. Then for the next 16 years, as if those things weren't enough, Carmen went on and focused in the area of child welfare service delivery, financing of public agency service provision, and administrative management of programs within the Office of Community Services. That's our public child welfare agency in Louisiana. Then Carmen served as the Assistant Secretary of the Office of Community Services, and there she was responsible for a budget of over $218 million. Thereafter, as most of us know, Carmen became the Executive Director of the Louisiana chapter of NASW, and she remained in that position for over 13 years and has done an outstanding and spectacular job, as all of y'all know. So, Carmen certainly has served on many boards and many task forces and committees and work groups, and she has worked tirelessly, giving of her expertise, her experience, her knowledge, her talent, her wisdom, and most importantly, her humor. So it is my great, great, great pleasure to give this award to Carmen Wiesner, our Social Worker of the Year.
When we have the awards ceremony for Baton Rouge Region, I just kind of talked extemporaneously. And then so I thought, well, you know what, I really didn't say much. And well, I didn't say thank you to some people I needed to say thank you for. And I felt like, oh, I'm at the Academy Awards, and I forgot to acknowledge my husband, who was sitting on the front row. And we got in the car, and I said, honey, I'm sorry, I didn't even acknowledge your presence. And he said, you never do. So I am truly humbled and honored to be selected by my peers, because I know the work that you do every day, and so to be selected to be the outstanding social worker in the state is daunting. It's daunting. So I want to thank the leadership of the NASW Louisiana Chapter Board for considering my nomination for this honor. It is a recognition that I must share with several people. Please allow me to acknowledge them in the next 3 minutes that I've been allowed to speak. And you know, sometimes I can go off script. I'm kind of like Donald Trump. I can go off script. First and foremost, my family. My husband, Michael, my 2 children, Michael Jr. and my daughter, Patricia, who's here with me today. They have helped me truly embrace what it means to be a social worker. It is the essence of who I am, and it has, in many respects, helped guide our family over the years. There were times when our children were young. My husband would say, honey, that social work experiment you've been running, I don't think it's working today. So, you know, it really did mold how they were reared. There are individual social workers that I have admired over the years that I learned from and attempted to emulate. I would be remiss if I failed to mention just a few. Dr. Ben Kaplan, and many of you would not know who he is, but in 1970, when I finished from then ULL, he was the director of the social work. We had a little social work program at USL, and he was the director of that. And he introduced his students to the opportunities that social work provided. Louis Plochet, who recently died, he allowed the staff at the Baton Rouge Child Protection Center to grow and helped us establish policies and procedures that are used today in the investigation of child protection services. Brenda Kelly, and those of you who work in child welfare and those of you who live and work in the Lake Charles area, you know her well. She was the former Assistant Secretary for the Office of Community Services, and she set the standard for good social work practice, effective administration, and leadership. The late Jackie Shellington. She was, in my humble opinion, a social worker's social worker. I loved when she would call and say, can I come to the office just to chat? And it was such a wonderful dialogue to have with her. When I entered the School of Social Work at LSU in 1972, I met some incredible individuals who over these many years have been role models and lifelong friends. Thank you, Martha Wiley and Dolores Cornett, for always being my friends that I could confide in. They were also able to help me learn to laugh and not take myself so seriously. When I came to NASW in 2004, I did not think I'd stay these 13 years. And Derek said, you know, he was the chair of the committee, and he said, I didn't think you'd stay 13 years either. But I did. It was an incredible opportunity, and I loved every day. I learned so much about the profession from you, the members, and all the people that I encountered. We have a great reputation for what we do every day. The opportunity to serve as a field instructor for LSU Tulane, Southern University in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Northwestern. They provided me the opportunity to meet the future of the profession. The students introduced me to newer concepts in the profession and reinforced the need for lifelong learning. In my role as executive director, I practice as a macro social worker. That was not a term that we learned in 1974. We didn't know that. So, you know, micro, macro, whatever the other one is, whoever that is, I don't know. My field of practice was administration, community organization, and advocacy. While at NASW, I had the opportunity to work with a wonderful staff and a support system. Ann Steer was a wonderful lobbyist and partner to help me understand some of the unique issues that we had to address. Our own Linnell Whipple was the office manager. She was incredible, and she kept everything going, kept the wheels on the bus. Karen Smith, the coordinator of continuing education, and that sweet, gentle voice you hear sometimes when you call the chapter office. And what would we have done in the last couple of months without Missy Hall James? Thank you, Missy. As social workers, we do not forget our roles as an advocate in our community, state, or the nation. We need your voices now more than ever. We need to tell the stories of the benefits that have been provided to the individuals that we work with. And when we have the opportunity to engage in meaningful conversations with appointed officials and elected officials, we need to take them, capture it, fall in, stand up. Thank you. I've been honored to be selected as the Social Worker of the Year, not only for the Baton Rouge region, but for the statewide. To be selected by your peers for this honor is humbling, and it's awe-inspiring because I know what other people do every day in the profession. So to be acknowledged and recognized by your peers is incredible.
I have the pleasure to introduce our Lifetime Achievement social worker, and that would be Gary Tiemann, and he's sitting up here with his son and daughter-in-law. Wave at him, Gary, and say a word or two about him. Gary, to become eligible to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award, a person needs to demonstrate repeated outstanding achievements, but not only in social work, but also in other areas also. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Gary. He graduated from LSU with his master's in social work in 1987. Now, it's interesting that Gary had a basketball career basically through college, and he felt the calling to social work, I guess a little bit later in life, a lot later he would say. Gary's actually best known in Shreveport for not basketball shoes, but actually sandals, and I'm curious as if he's wearing them today or if he actually wore his dress shoes for today, but that's the way I first met him, was him with those sandals. He's had over 30 years of postgraduate experience. He's worked at a variety of agencies and practices. One of the things that I found interesting is he was actually worked as a volunteer at the Phone, which was a suicide hotline here in Baton Rouge. He also was an intern at Angola back in the day. Back when we had a hospital in Shreveport that was called Charter Forest, he was hired there and was accepted the position of staff psychotherapist. And he worked his way up in the Shreveport psychotherapy circles and eventually switched over to private practice, where he's been for the last season. doing a lot of good work with private practice. I know myself, I've referred a lot of adolescents to Gary over the years. He was well thought of in the Shreveport area for dealing with that population. Most recently, Gary has undertaken a personal journey and a professional journey in the area of A Course in Miracles. And matter of fact, he's going to be doing a seminar on that, or this afternoon, I believe, or tomorrow. And he's written a book called The Miraculous Psychotherapy, Achieve Your Ultimate Happiness with A Course in Miracles. And I'm sure he'll tell you a whole lot more about that book during his session. We were in the Shreveport chapter. He was nominated and received this award and was given this award just a few weeks ago in the Shreveport area. And we were all very proud that he received it to represent our area. We're also very proud that he's able to represent us as a state. Gary, why don't you come on up? Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Tiemann.
You're so kind. Boy, I don't know how to follow that up. I didn't know I was doing so well, and then you enumerated all that stuff. And then, then we have the conundrum here. I believed them when they told me 3 minutes and lifetime achievement. So I have to squeeze that into 3 minutes. And one of my lifetime achievements that I will talk about is that with Derek, I was on that NASW board that hired Carmen. And I do consider that one of the greatest achievements that we've done. And I learned a secret about, and she's proven it to me, about you hire good people and they make you look good. And then you get an award too. So that is my son and my daughter-in-law, Jordan and Whitney, and I appreciate them being here and supporting me. My wife is not here. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about her because, I've had a very meandering, not typical professional life, and it's been remarkable, probably sometimes even unreasonable, how much she has supported me in this. And I promised that they made these plans before we knew about this, but she's on a girls' trip skiing in Tahoe right now, and I let her off the hook for that one. But anyway, and I do want to say, and I know my 3 minutes is probably getting close, like Dr. D this morning, you talked about finding yourself in social work and finding yourself in love with social work. I was one of those. I meandered from different professions, trying this, trying that. I was a little older when I got to graduate school. But that first day in social work school, it felt right. I knew I was home. And then I get to, go pursue these curiosities, these passions that I have. And then NASW and social work gives me a platform where I get to even go around the state and talk about them and teach them and stuff like that. And then they give you an award. So isn't it very cool how all this works out? And I am so honored to be part of this panel of remarkable award winners up here. To be in the same sentence with that is outstanding. I do want to thank the staff. And I do want to thank the board members. I mean, look around. This is a lot of work, and that's to be appreciated. And finally, just to summarize, I want to thank social work for giving me a home. Thank you. Oh, this is, first of all, I was completely surprised. I wasn't expecting this, and social work has been such an important. It's been my passion, it's been my career, and it's been my home professionally for many years now. And so just to have my career validated and acknowledged this way is beyond my wildest dreams. I wasn't expecting this at all. It's just icing on the cake.
I'm Carolyn Reed, and I am the vice president. And I also told Glory that I asked to be able to present this award to her because I was blown away by her. I am able to present to Glory the Outstanding BSW Student of the Year. This is an award that is given to a student in a formal educational setting that exemplifies our... the other one. Oh, well, that would be why. And that's amazing because my students would tell you I have a big mouth. She exemplifies our profession's values and ethics. And I am going to choose to read about her because I want to make sure I do not leave anything out. I also will say she is going to be given, besides the award, a $250 cash award. I believe that should pay for one book. Glory is a senior at Northwestern State University, finishing her internship at a school-based health clinic. Ms. Deaton did not plan on being a social worker. Her first major was elementary education. However, she became a bit disillusioned when she discovered that children were expected to learn in the same way. Assessing that this could make school very difficult for some children and is a factor in behavioral problems, she decided to help children cope and to advocate for them with teachers, school administrators, and even parents. When Ms. Deaton changed her major to social work, she forfeited her scholarship. However, according to Ms. Deaton, something clicked. I felt somewhat like a baby bird finally discovering the use for its wings. I simply have fallen in love with all of the possibilities that being a social worker entails and the sheer diversity of this helping field. Ms. Deaton is well liked by both faculty and staff at NSU. She always has a smile on her face. She will graduate with academic honors. Currently, her GPA is 3.769. She will also graduate debt-free, managing to do so through a combination of TOPS and employment and a small scholarship for working in Boys and Girls State one summer. Ms. Deaton is a member of the NSU rowing team, and in 2016, her team came in second nationally in her division. This year, Ms. Deaton is responsible for freshman recruitment for the team and keeping this team's social media site. She is also a member of Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society. You go, girl. Ms. Deaton is aware that many students come to NSU and elsewhere without the supportive and loving background her family has provided her. According to the NSU faculty, she understands how different and how difficult some people's lives are. She realizes that she has been blessed and frequently exhibits the qualities of gratitude and humility. When we told her that we planned to nominate her for this honor, she cried and then started telling us who she thought was more qualified. That's humility. Ms. Deaton is well on her way. In her words, "My amazing teachers at Northwestern State have opened up a whole new world of understanding for me. I know that social work is a field where one never stops learning. I intend to further my education by going to graduate school. I have hopes of either opening my own practice or working at a school-based health center as a counselor. I want to do my own research and build on the knowledge I have gained at Northwestern. I know that I am meant to be in this field, and I am so excited to begin my career as a social worker. It is an honor to present you with this award. Please come accept it."
All right, I'm no good at speeches like all the other honorees, I guess, but I wrote it out word for word, so just bear with me. Okay, first off, I would like to start by saying thank you, like, so much. When I was trying to figure out what the heck I was going to say for this speech, I asked my professor if I could say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, just on repeat. And she said no, that was too redundant, and that once or twice is good enough. But in my head, I'm just like, why not? Like, no matter how many times I say thank you, that's just not, gonna get across how grateful I am for this. Like, it really is not. I really didn't think I would get this. And after we submitted my application, my teacher, she was like, well, it's been 2 or 3 weeks. I really don't think you're gonna get it. Usually they get back to us a little faster. So I was like, okay, probably went to somebody who like saved puppies for a living, and I just save cats. So I am seriously still so shocked that y'all chose me, even when I didn't think that I was worthy of it. So the fact that y'all thought that I deserved this means the world to me. So thank you. And when I first came to college, I thought I wanted to teach. She kind of mentioned that. But a couple of teaching classes in, I realized that I did not want to teach, no matter how much of a noble profession that is. So I went and talked to a career counselor. They were like, why don't you try social work? And I was like, y'all really want me to steal kids for a living? Okay. But they said, no, you can be a counselor, just for half the schooling of a psychology major. And I was like, tell me more. So I went in and I talked to Dr. Tyler, our head of social work over at Northwestern, and he kind of sold me. And my first class I took, I walked out just beaming because I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And like she said, there are just so many different ways one can help in social work, and that's what I love about it. Social work is, in my opinion, it's picking people up when they can't stand for themselves, and it's finding value in people when nobody else does. And that's amazing to me that there's a group of people out there that's committed to caring for people like this, and I get to be a part of that group. So I am so thankful and humble that the NASW chose me to represent such a caring field, and I thank everyone who got me to this point in life. And there's a huge shout out to my teachers who have put up with me for 2.5 years and constantly working with me and supporting me, and they even nominated me for this award, so thank you. Thank you to the judges. I still don't know what to call it. The judges, whoever y'all are. Thank y'all for choosing me. It means the world to me. And lastly, thank you to my parents. Y'all have put up with me for 21 years. And especially my mom. She homeschooled 4 kids. Props to you. I will never stop thanking y'all for the unending support that y'all have given me. And because of all of these tremendous people in my life, I think I have an awesome foundation for becoming the best social worker that I can be. So thank y'all for everything. I am shocked and thrilled and humbled to be Student Social Worker of the Year. I did not expect this at all. I really didn't think I would get it. And she actually, my teacher, she told me, she was like, I don't think you got it yet because they've taken too long to get back to us. And I was like, okay, it probably went to somebody who had was saving puppies for a living. I don't know, but I really didn't. When I got it, I started crying. I was in class. I was tears everywhere. Noah's Ark, flood from the eyeballs. So I was very surprised.
Spectacular so far, huh? I'll tell you, aren't people amazing? Well, I have the privilege of introducing our public official of the year, and it is Honorable Juan Pickett. And let me just tell you a little bit about what we look for when we try and select our public official of the year. Elected officials often face incredible decisions about a broad range of issues. But of particular interest to the social work profession are those policies and practices that affect social justice or health care, education, civil rights, human rights, and certainly social practice. So in recognition of the responsibilities and challenges of public service, NASW established the award of Public Official of the Year. And this year, Judge Pickett has been our selection. So let me just tell you a little bit about Judge Pickett. Judge Pickett was elected to the 32nd Judicial District Court, Division C, in 2014. He presides over civil as well as criminal matters, and for you social workers out there, child in need of care proceedings. Y'all know how tough those cases are. He's the first African American elected to that particular court. Judge Pickett was born in Washington, D.C., received his Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from Virginia Union University in 1993, and his Juris Doctorate degree from Southern University Law Center. I'm an alum too. We have something in common. Before being elected to the bench, Judge Pickett served as an assistant district attorney in Terrebonne Parish for over 21 years. Judge Pickett is passionate about the future and safety of our children. He visits schools on a regular basis to discuss with children the importance of a good education, of staying off of drugs, and staying out of trouble. Judge Pickett participates in the Project LEAD and the Head Start programs. He also initiated the Judge for the Day program. Doesn't that sound exciting? That is a program where junior and high school students shadow him for a day, sitting behind him on the bench and learning what it's like to be a judge and learning about cases and individuals that come before the judicial branch of government. Judge Pickett is an active member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, where he assists with the Youth Guide Right program. He also gives an annual scholarship to a deserving senior from Ellender Memorial High School. It is my great pleasure to give this award to Judge Pickett, our public official.
All right, good luck trying to limit a lawyer in a microphone to 3 minutes. All right. But first of all, I want to thank God for giving me an opportunity to be here today. I want to thank those individuals who thought enough about me to nominate me for this such of a great award. And I also want to thank the association for naming me with this award. That's such a wonderful honor. I'm truly humbled. I mean, I can't explain how humbled and honored I am to receive this award. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my wife, because she is truly my law partner. She's my life partner. She's my fashion coordinator. She's the one that tells me, you're not going outside looking like that. She proofreads my work sometimes to make sure I put the dots in the right places. And so I really want to thank her for all that she has done in my life. You know, and like I said, it's truly an honor to receive an award for doing something that you really like doing. You know, I had so many people in my life that have opened the doors for me and given me opportunities. And I was always taught to believe that if you are blessed with blessings from God, that you got to bless other people with those blessings. And so, so what I always want to do is that the more blessings I get, I just want to bless and trying to help as many people as I can along the way, starting with kids. You know, some people think I'm crazy. I go to the Head Start and I read books to the children, but the children really love it. I mean, then I can't leave because they're pulling on my coattail sometimes. And when I'm in court, being a judge is much more than just putting people in jail. It's much more than awarding money to litigants. It's much more than separating families. But you got to go and try and find out what the problem is in that household. Why is the person committing crime? What's wrong with this family? Why are they dysfunctional? And you try to do little things with the power that you have as a judge to help those individuals. Some of them don't know how to help themselves. Some of them don't want to help themselves. And sometimes you can use your position, try and force them to help themselves from time to time. And that's why it's such an awarding honor to receive this award, because you spend your lifetime trying to help others and trying to get others to help themselves sometimes. So this is truly an honor. I want to thank everybody once again. I'm going to work extra hard now to live up to this award. And I thank you very much. God bless you. Oh, this is truly an honor. It's humbling. I just can't believe it. So rewarding to receive an honor for something that you just love to do. So it's something special. Well, I've been in the district attorney's office previously before becoming judge for 22 years. So we were involved with a lot of social services doing that. When I became a judge in Terrebonne Parish, I just continued on trying to help as many people as I could.
Good afternoon. I have the honor of awarding the Louisiana Public Citizen of the Year Award. This award is given to honor an outstanding member of the community whose accomplishments exemplify the values and missions of professional social work. And the award is given to someone who is not a social worker. This year, our award goes to Dr. Harry Blake. I grew up next door to my grandfather, who was a Baptist preacher. So I heard about Reverend Harry Blake from my grandfather. I grew up in a small town that I questioned my grandparents as to why we weren't able to go to the swimming pool and swim with all the other kids as we passed by. And so my parents' answer was to build a pool in our backyard. I grew up thinking that African Americans were the only ones that got sick because that was the only people that were in the waiting room of the doctor that I went to. Everybody else was on the other side. I went to a high school where we had separate proms and we had separate queens. So my grandfather told me about Pastor Harry Blake. Pastor Harry Blake, to us in North Louisiana, was our Dr. Martin Luther King. When we thought of civil rights, and of course we all thought of Dr. Harry Blake. He's the pastor of the Mount Canaan Baptist Church in Shreveport, Louisiana, and he's pastored there for over some 60 years. He is originally from Arkansas. He moved to Shreveport, and Dr. Martin Luther King hired Dr. Blake in 1960. He hired him to spearhead civil rights and equality efforts, as well as the voter registration drive for African Americans in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. During this time and dangerous times, as well as throughout the years thereafter, Dr. Blake's accomplishments have been numerous. Just to name a few, he formed alliances with local community leaders and the Shreveport city officials to revitalize the Allendale community where his church is located. Under his leadership, Mount Canaan has built multi-level housing for the poor and an apartment complex for the elderly and physically challenged. He created the Grace Project, which is an academic program, and he is also he did the Grace Project, which builds single-family homes in Shreveport. He also opened the Mount Canaan Daycare, and he has also opened an academic program which is called the Canaan Boys Academy. Dr. Blake has served in leadership positions over the years with many organizations that champion social change, education, community transformation, and service to and behalf of the disenfranchised. Dr. Blake has also done much to deter crime. It is reported that the crime rate in the Allendale community, where Dr. Blake's church is the lowest in Shreveport, Louisiana. In one of the letters received in support of Dr. Blake's nomination for this award, he was described as a prophetic pastor, a passionate leader, a social activist, a humanitarian, an eloquent orator, an educator engaged in preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, in fighting against racial injustice, committed to economic justice and empowerment in underserved communities, and touching and transforming the lives of the disenfranchised. Dr. Blake has also endured consequences. As a result of his courageous work, he was arrested numerous times during the civil rights movement. The first arrest was on his first day of work with Dr. King on March 1st, 1960. He was beaten several times while participating in organized, nonviolent demonstrations. The most vicious encounter was when the police stormed into a worship service at the Little Union Baptist Church, where Dr. Blake organized a service to memorialize 4 girls who were killed in the 16th Street Baptist Church on September 15th in 1963. Dr. Blake was dragged through the church and beaten with nightsticks. On October 12, 1963, there was an assassination attempt as he was shot on a rural highway as he left his church. Dr. Blake missed opportunities to pastor some churches during the time in history, given the level of concern that those churches would be burned or destroyed if he became their pastor. Dr. Blake has in the past and currently does serve on many boards, commissions, and works with many organizations that serve the community. Also, he is a guest lecturer for many Baptist colleges and seminaries. Today, the National Baptist Association is meeting in Shreveport, Louisiana, and he is unable to be with us. But we are excited that he has sent his nephew to accept his award. So now we will have Mr. Gerald Montgomery to accept the award for Dr. Harry Blake.
I'm extremely overwhelmed to come behind so many selfless people. I'm here only by proxy, and it's been a learning experience to be here so far. I'm Gerald Montgomery, and it's a tremendous honor to accept this 2018 Citizen Award on behalf of my uncle, Dr. Harry Blake. Uncle Harry's is being honored currently in Shreveport, so please excuse his absence. As I accept this award on my uncle's behalf, I'm reminded of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. The true neighbor will rise to his position, his prestige, and even his life for the welfare of others. These words adequately describe who my uncle is and why he's the 2018 recipient of the Citizen of the Year Award. I thank you for this beautiful plaque. It'll look great on my mantle, my uncle's mantle. But God bless you. Thank you all.
Every now and then, we have such an amazing group of people to choose from with different awards. This year, it was very, very difficult, almost impossible to choose. So the decision was made to do a President's Award. The President's Award is given at the discretion of the President, which is why I'm standing here, because we just felt that other people, someone else deserved the recognition. And so at this time, I want to call Edgar Guidry up here to kind of let him say a few words about this award, okay?
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
Like Patty said, we had this award given out several years. One year Carmen got it, Linnell got it. A couple other years we had a judge had received it. So I thank the committee for actually doing this award. And among some of the people here that are non-social workers, my brother and my beautiful sister-in-law, Sid and Ann Guidry. So we were raised in a household, just to tell you a little bit, that we were taught to get back in the community. Lived next to our grandparents. Our grandfather was our role model. Our mother was a religion teacher for over 20 years. Den mother to the Scouts. She even substitutes at school, and imagine your mother walking into your classroom when you didn't know, and she's a substitute teacher. That was frightening for us, but she did it. was a father with work ethics, and when we got some letters in from a couple of people talking about this individual who serves on the local level, the state level, the national level, and the international level, and today he thinks that I got him here because he thinks I'm getting an award, but it's him who's getting the award. So, you can kill me later. And he is older than me, contrary to what he said outside in the hallway. I am the youngest of the children. So, Sid Guidry has served as Lieutenant Governor of Division 13 of the Louisiana, Mississippi, West Tennessee District of Kiwanis International. He started with the Hammond Kiwanis Club. He spent considerable time visiting each of these clubs, encouraging them to strive to the best clubs that they could be. After serving as Lieutenant Governor, he accepted an even greater challenge. He was asked to direct the activities of Circle K international clubs on college campuses throughout the three-state district. In that capacity, he worked tirelessly to rebuild the Circle K International Club into a force for good on college campuses. He's donated financially to support the St. Thomas Aquinas Regional Catholic High School and the Holy Ghost Elementary School. And he has also sent several kids through this school who did not have the resources that other people had. So it's at that time I'm going to bring up Sid Guidry and thank him for everything he's done.
Okay, well, I knew I should have drowned you when you were a kid. And I kind of knew something was up because, you know, all the years that Edgar has been involved with social work, he's never once invited me to eat at a banquet. So it was pretty obvious also when I saw him whispering to Carmen over there. So I kind of suspected something, but this is a probably undeserved honor. I'm very fortunate, I guess, to work with college kids. I've enjoyed it for 30 some odd years. In fact, I've enjoyed it so much that after I retired and I cut all the grass that I could cut and all the fish I could catch, I went back and did it again. So it's young college kids, to me, it's very interesting, particularly when you teach them and talk to them, particularly freshmen. Kind of ironic that an 18-year-old has to decide what to do with the rest of his life at that age. And fortunately for you, young lady, you saw what you wanted to do, and that's great. And there's a lot of young people today that don't. So in my role as district administrator for Circle K, I spent a lot of time visiting all of these different schools and interacting with all these young students. We just had our district convention here in Baton Rouge last weekend, a weekend before. And it's very rewarding to me to see the enthusiasm and maybe the naiveness perhaps, but they have that enthusiasm to make their life better and make the world better. And as Edgar said, my mother was probably our premier stimulant to give back to community. So I'm very humbled to receive this award, and I thank the judges or the committee for doing that. And I certainly want to thank Edgar. I have to do that publicly. And I also want to thank my beautiful bride of 38 years. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Well, in closing, we certainly want to thank our annual conference planning committee. They've done a good job in helping us put together the entire conference. Congratulations to our award winners. Thank you so much for everything that each and every one of you do, for inspiring the rest of us, okay, for helping us recommit to do good work. So thank you. Thank you very much. I think any person or entity can benefit greatly from a relationship with a social worker because, you know, we all have periods in our lives, whether we're individuals or organizations, where we are striving to do better. And what better time to connect with a professional social worker than then, so that you can assure that you do actually meet that goal of being the best you can be.